Good morning, everyone. I'll start the session and I'll rather going after the slides. Yeah, I'll do that because I have certain demos also. So rather than going directly slide by slide presentation, just I'll give you a brief because many of the already experts are here who are already working, and there are few of the people who have who are exploring this particular technology. So I'll give the background and then directly I'll go on the demos so that it will be easy for us to understand. At the same time, it will save our time as well. I already have my net. It's not coming. Just check. Or you connect your mobile. Meanwhile, I'll just. Just check the internet. Connected. इसीलिए बात नहीं. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. Okay, we are starting the presentation with the comparison of physical documents, integrity of physical document versus the digital document. There is a possibility of breach of integrity in physical documents. Here is the example that is given here. For example, I have written a note or I have written a letter, anything, and then after signing, I have given it to the approving authority, and once the approving authority receives that particular document, he feels that this cannot be approved, this request cannot be approved. So what the approving authority has done is he has written not approved as a comment, and then he signed. Now we are not tampering the signature, we are not playing with the signature, but there is always a possibility that the person who has submitted the request, once he gets this back with the comment of not approved, then he can add a E there, which makes the document meaning complete, which changes the document meaning. So the not approved becomes the not approved. Okay, and we have not played with the signature. So here, the most important aspect that we need to understand in physical document, physical world versus the digital world is, in physical world, in hand signature, the content is independent of the signature. So whatever content I have here, let us say this is my content, right? And this content, when I am signing this particular content, the content as well as the signature are different. We know that in hand signature, our signature will always be same, irrespective of the content we sign, right? Basically, it is an endorsement of the content that we are signing. But the moment the content changes there, it does not reflect that change in the signature because our signatures are unique and our signatures are static in nature. Whereas when we talk about digital signatures, digital signature technology is dynamic in nature. Why it is dynamic? Because the content is dependent on the signature. The signature is dependent on the content. The signature is dependent on the content. How the signature is dependent on the content, that background I'll give you. So here, I can say it's not a weakness, but yes, the limitation of hand signature is the moment the content changes, it does not reflect on the signature because signature is static. Okay, so here not approved and not approved is the best example of understanding this particular aspect. Okay, so there is another example here of a check being signed. Okay, and this check is of 6,000 rupees. So since the space, little bit of space is there, so the signature is not tampered, and there is a gap between 6 and 1000. So the person has added a 0 without rewriting the check content also, or without tampering the check content as well. And then within that space, he very neatly wrote TY, so the check has become 60,000. Okay, so here there is a clear case of breach of integrity in the physical document, and as just now I said, that the physical documents, the hand signature, content as well as signature are independent of each other. So here this is another example of it. Whereas when you talk about the digital signature technology is the one wherein the content is dependent on the signature. Okay, I'll directly go to that particular part. So the signature, when we talk about the elements of trust, we have four properties: privacy, which is also called as confidentiality, most importantly, and then authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation. With the digital signature, you will be able to achieve authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation. In fact, with the digital certificate, if we have encryption certificate as well, then we will be able to achieve confidentiality as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is, with PKI in place, you will be able to achieve all the four properties: confidentiality, authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation. But digital signature technology will enable your application or your document to achieve all the three: authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation out of four properties. Okay. Now to achieve that digital signature or the digital signature technology, I'll just give you a demo first. Is it visible? Yes. So this is a demonstration of digital signature. Let us say we don't know anything about digital signature. Okay. So from here, I'm trying to build up this particular presentation now. So I have my token connected to it. Okay. So what is this token? It is a crypto token which is FIPS 140-2 compliant. Okay, which is an international standard, obviously. So this token contains a digital signature certificate. Okay. Now what is this digital signature certificate? A digital signature certificate contains a public key. Okay. And it's another version like .p12 or .pfx file contains your private key as well. So here there are two files that are there in this. Actually there is one certificate which is kept in two different files. So here in crypto token, first of all, why do I need crypto token and why do I need the digital certificate? Okay, what is this public key and private key and all? Generally, we give example of symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. The door locks are synonymous to your symmetric key cryptography because one key will be used for locking as well as unlocking. That is what is symmetric key cryptography. Similarly, asymmetric key cryptography requires two different keys, one for encryption, one for decryption. So in non-technical terms, you can call it as one for locking and the second one for unlocking. Now for locking, which key is to be used, public key or private key? That depends on what property you want to achieve. Suppose if you want to achieve authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation, then you have to use private key for encryption. Once you use private key for encryption, that means locking, you have to decrypt it with public key. Okay. So the opposite keys are to be used for any feature that you want to achieve. Now let me give you a real-time example of that. Like we have car remote locking systems, right? So it will have two buttons, one for locking, one for unlocking. So two buttons are there and it has exclusive functionality. When the car is locked, I have to press unlock button only in order to unlock it. If I keep pressing lock button, it will not unlock because that particular functionality is exclusive for that particular button. Similarly, when I decided that I want authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation, so my locking key becomes private key. Okay. So when I lock it with private key, the opposite key is public key. So I have to unlock it with the public key. Whereas if I want confidentiality, then I have to use the receiver's public key. Okay. When I use your public key, so I'll be able to lock the content and then send it to you. Okay. When I send it to you, which key you have to use? You have to use your own private key because opposite key is to be used. Okay. Now these keys are actually digital values. It is a digital key. It's not a physical key that you can hold in your hand. So these are digital keys. So digital keys obviously have to be kept in some electronic document. Like my presentation is there in an electronic document called as .pptx. Okay, my CV will be there in an electronic document called as .pdf or .docx. Similarly, there should be a electronic document which contains these key values. Okay, and in India here, as per the CCA guidelines, we use 2048 bit size of key. Okay, so this 2048 bit key is to be kept somewhere in the electronic document. That electronic document is called as digital signature certificate. Okay, and generally it will be of .crt format. Okay, .crt, .cer, different formats are there. So that particular certificate which contains the public key is called as the public key certificate. Now, what tool is used for creating these certificates? There are many tools, open source tools are also available, which is used for creating these keys. Okay, so any tool can be used for demonstration purpose, but the most important aspect is how do you relate that particular public key with a person? How do you connect that person? How should I prove that this key belongs to me? That is where the certifying authority comes into picture. Okay, so certifying authorities are those authorities who are responsible to issue the digital certificate. Okay, so in India we follow hierarchical trust model. Okay, so at the top level, the root certifying authority of India will be there, RCAI. Okay, which is operated by Office of CCA. CCA himself, CCA sir was here. So he is the highest digital trust person in India from the digital trust point of view. So the CCA is at the top level. Then in the intermediate level, all the CAs are there. Okay, and then at the lowest level, the subscribers will be there. So we get the digital certificate endorsed by or certified by the certifying authority. Okay. And then the CA gets the licenses from the CCA. This is what is the model. I'm just trying to make it more crisp in the best interest of time. So this is the hierarchical trust model that we follow. Once I get the digital certificate, now I'm enabled to digitally sign a document. Now here, that is what I'm trying to show. First, I'll show it in MS Word format, then I'll go to PDF format as well. So I go to File, and then in Protect Document, I have an option called Add a Digital Signature. Okay, I'll go back again, just as a repetition. So I click on File, then in Information, I have one option. This is the latest version of Office. So other versions, somewhere you just need to search that, wherever this Protect Document option comes, and then click on Add a Digital Signature. Once I click on Add a Digital Signature, now it is looking for my certificate. It's already connected here. Now it is trying to search and it has found here. Okay. These two options are optional provided by MS Office. Okay. I'm not bothered about that. Now here, this is what is more important for me because it has extracted my certificate details from the certificate that I have here in the token. Okay. Signing as Mohammed Misbahuddin, issued by eMudra sub CA for class 3 individual. Okay. So I'll just click on sign. Now what is happening in the background, if you look at here, creating signature. Okay. So what is a signature now? First of all, we need to understand. Signature is a two-step process. Number one, whatever content you want to sign, whether it is text, whether it is PDF or image or video, whatever you want to sign. So that particular content's hash will be computed. Okay. Using generally it will SHA 256 secure hashing algorithm 256 or SHA 512 will be used generally. Okay, so now the first step is whatever content is given as an input to the digital signature algorithm. So here it is RSA. So it the first step, as part of the first step, it computes the hash value, and this hash value goes into the crypto token. Okay, now in the crypto token my private key is there. Now the second step is the output of hash function is called as message digest. Okay, this message digest is to be encrypted with my private key because I want to achieve authenticity of the document, integrity of the document, as well as non-repudiation, because later on I should not be able to deny saying that no, I have not signed. So these three properties are achieved using my private key. So my private key is there in the crypto token. But this is the private key. So as per the standards, this private key is to be protected with a PIN or a password or a passphrase. Okay. So here also my private key is protected with a PIN. That is why it is asking me the PIN. Once I enter the PIN, what happens is it enables the private key, activates the private key to encrypt my hash which has gone into the crypto token. Okay. And once it encrypts it, now the digital signature value plus the digital signature certificate, my public key certificate comes out and it gets attached to the document. This is the simplest process. Okay. So now I am entering the password. Now here it is written that now it is already digitally signed. Your signature has been successfully saved with this document. If the document is changed, your signature will become invalid. Okay. Why it will become invalid? Because if, first of all, it will not allow. Okay. But even if I go into settings and try to change, the content of the document, what happens is the hash value will change. Okay. So what is a digital signature? Digital signature is nothing but the encryption of the message digest of the document. Okay, that is what is the digital signature. Now what you are trying to do, already this digital signature, which is the encryption of the message digest, it is already embedded into the document and you are trying to play with that content, you are trying to modify that content. The moment you try or you do the modification, the hash value of that content will change. And this hash value and the hash value which is encrypted will not match. Okay, so that means the digital signature, all the integrity or the authenticity is tampered, okay, or breached. That is where, first of all, the applications do not allow, even though if you try internally also, then this is what will happen. So that is why it is saying that if the document is changed, your signature will become invalid. Generally, it removes the signature from the document itself. Okay. Now, if you try to compare this particular example with the example which I have shown with the hand signature, right? Not approved, note approved. Okay. There the signature did not change. Here, for every different content, my signature resultant value will change. Okay. Now that means on a single day, if I am signing 10 different documents, I have signed one indent, I have signed one invoice, I have signed some application, okay, leave application or something. So all these three are different contents. So my signature resultant value will be different, but hand signature provides the identification also, right? When you see signature, you will understand that this is your director's signature. So that means the hand signature provides you identification. Since the signature is same, identification is easy. Whereas in digital signature, since the content is changing with every changed document, signature is changing with every changed document, how will you relate these changed signatures with a particular person? Okay, that is where your public key certificate comes into picture. Okay, so that public key certificate says that this particular document is signed by so and so person. Okay, even though the resultant value is different. Now I'll click OK. Now it is saying that it is a signed document. This document has been signed and marked as final. That means you can no longer edit this document. It should not be edited. If anyone tampers with this document, the signatures will become invalid. Okay, let us go and see. So here, the document is digitally signed now. If I try to edit it anyway, so it is giving me an error here. Okay, not error, alert message here saying that editing will remove the signatures in this document. Do you want to continue? I have not yet edited, but I am just trying to edit it. So the moment I click yes, it will remove the signature from the document itself, because as I told you, first of all, it will not allow you to edit. But here, since the option is enabled for editing, if I click, it is saying that the signature has been removed and the document has been saved. This is how, from the trust point of view and from the integrity point of view, the digital signature provides you better security strength comparing to hand signature. Okay. Now I'll go to PDF document. This was a recent, court verdict that has come in Bangalore. So I just made a copy of that. I should not digitally sign, but just for demo purpose, I am showing it. So in the recent version of Adobe Acrobat, it is providing you the option here, use a certificate. Okay, I click on this. here the option of digitally sign is there. Okay, I click on this digitally sign. It is asking me basically where do you want to place your signature. It is just a matter of representation. MS Word represents digital signature in a different way, while Adobe Acrobat represents the digital signature in a different way. Yes.
Can we add signature appearance under the Word document, or the signature container under Word document, like of PDF is showing?
It will not allow, no. It's not on open source. You may try it in open office, something like that. Like what PDF allows you to add, in that way you are saying. No, generally it will not allow.
PDF having some library like iText or the common library, which is allowing to add container type, container or signature appearance under some of valued axis.
It maintains, PDF maintains its own repository actually.
Yes.
Its own certificate repository, whereas MS Word, MS Office applications maintains its own separate repository.
I think you are telling about AITL, Adobe Approved List.
Yeah, yeah.
So Microsoft also having the signature report.
Yeah, it will have its own repository. Yes.
Why not they are displaying?
Sorry.
Why not they are giving the option?
See, there are a lot of other applications also where they do not come together. Okay. Like Google has its own authentication and single sign-on, whereas Facebook has its own, and Microsoft has its own, like passport kind of applications, but they do not gel with each other. So, interoperability, basically that connectivity from the user perspective, it will be easy for all of us, but they'll not, that is their business policy. Okay. Yeah.
So, we can check through the signature tag only.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, presently I am placing the signature here first. Okay. You can place anywhere. Generally, at the end of the document we place, but just for demo purpose, I am placing it here. Now, it is actually, as of now, one digital certificate is installed on my machine. So, it is showing me that particular option. So, Mohammed, Misbahuddin and all. So, this is how it will come here. It's up to you to decide how do you want to represent that digital signature. And here there is an option called lock document after signing. Suppose if you are the last signer, then you can click on this option, lock document after signing. Okay. And then you click on sign. Again the same thing, hash is being computed and then the digital signature is being created. So let me share it on desktop with a different name. Okay. So since the digital signature as well as the public key certificate is going to get added to the document, that is why it is becoming a new document now. Okay. That is why it is asking me to save again. So once I click on this, it is asking me to enter the password here. So once I enter the password, now it is digitally signed. Okay. So if I click on this, it is already saying that this is a valid signature. Signature is valid, signed by Mohammed Misbahuddin, having an email ID registered in the certificate as misbah@cdac.in. The document has not been modified since this signature was applied. The document is signed by the current user. Now if you want to look at the signature properties, you go here and then click show signer's certificate. Okay. Now here you can see the hierarchy. Mohammed Misbahuddin has got the certificate from eMudra Sub-CA, which is a sub-CA of eMudra CA, and eMudra CA is a licensed CA of CCA India. Now if you want to see more details about my certificate, okay, so it is a personal certificate, and then if you look at the details here, now it is version 3, signature algorithm that they have used. When you get the digital certificate, the public key certificate will be signed by the CA, right? So what algorithm they have used for signing? It is SHA 256 and RSA. And subject is basically my details. CN is common name, Mohammed Misbahuddin, my serial number, state is Karnataka, postal code, and all those details are given. Now who is the issuer? Issuer is eMudra Sub-CA for class 3. So this is my class 3 digital certificate, and organization unit is certifying authority and all. This is the serial number, which is very important. This serial number is unique, and it is very important from the perspective of CRL, Certificate Revocation List. Okay, so I'll come to that point later. So then validity of the certificate. Okay, the validity is from 28th March 2022 to 3rd March 2024. Okay, so basically I have taken this certificate for 3 years. but here the validity is showing as 2 years. I think CCA office will be able to elaborate more on this, but I spoke to eMudra. I asked them that why, when I paid for 3 years, why you are from eMudra?
No, I am from my end, but
Okay.
I think you have given only for 2 years.
2 years because their certificate is getting expired and
No,
then
no, I think you have taken under the 2014.
I think
So 2014 can will expired on March 5th.
that is what they told me. And then once their certificate is renewed, they said that they will again reissue or renew my certificate. Is it right? That is what is the answer I have got from them. Okay, okay, okay. 2000? Okay, okay, okay. So anyhow, this will be renewed. So CRL distribution point, if you look at this one, something, okay. So eMudra basically maintains its CRL, certificate revocation list, at this particular URL. Okay, I'll show that later. I'll check whether my net is working. Yes. HTTPS. Yeah. So this is the CRL I am downloading. Okay, download insecure file. I'll come to this also. Whenever, I mean, during the validity period, suppose if I lost my certificate or if my keys are compromised or if I feel that my keys are compromised and I have requested for revocation of my certificate, then my certificate serial number, which I had shown you there, that every certificate will have a unique serial number. With that serial number, here it will be recorded. So there are basically 3 fields that will be there. One is the serial number, second one is the revocation date, and the third one is the reason for revocation generally. Okay. So like here if you look at serial number so and so, I mean revocation date is 27th August 2014 and CRL reason code is key compromise. So this is the revocation list that is maintained by every CA. Okay. I will go back to the demo part. Okay, the major parts I have covered already. Where is my public key? I want to show that basically. Here is my public key. This is how your public key looks like. Okay. Even though your private key is there, but your private key will not be displayed, or I mean the owner of the key itself cannot see the private key, because if you give the access to the private key, access in the sense, if you allow the user to see his own private key, then there is a possibility of compromise. Okay. And one more thing which I feel that it's really, I mean, sensible to relate this particular aspect, that in hand signature, you cannot explain to anybody how actually you draw your signature, because the pressure it involves and the spokes in the signature and all those things, the pen up event, then the pen down event. Even though if you try to explain, I mean, the other person will not be able to take up how much pressure you are applying, how you are drawing. People will imitate the, I mean, signature style. They may do the forging of the signature, but by the signature forensic experts, they will be easily identifying which is the original one and which is the forged signature. So, despite the fact that you know, over the period of time, it becomes your, memory, okay, muscle memory, I can say. So, muscle memory, with the muscle memory, you will be able to sign multiple documents, but you will not be able to explain. So, every hand signature is related to some secret we know, but that secret we will not be able to share with anybody. So, this particular feature is also imbibed in the digital signature, wherein even though you have a private key, but you are not able to share the private key with anybody. Okay. So, so that the secret with which your signature is created is not being shared. Okay. So here this is my public key. So I'll just go to the learn.pki.in to explain more about this. Now, this is a demonstration which you can also access on learn.pki.in. So, anything. It can be loss of token, or let us say if I fear that my keys are, let us say I have kept the keys on in my desk and then I am out of station for a couple of days. So even if I fear that, then also I can submit the complaint to the CA saying that my keys are compromised. Okay. Or there is another reason wherein my office feels that I have done some fraudulent activity with that particular token or with that particular certificate, that also will be revoked. Okay. So all those multiple reasons are there, but here the key compromise is basically the loss of token. Okay. Now let
one more question. Like in MS Word, MS Office, we have option only one signature. We cannot go for multiple signature. Whereas in PDF, we can go one by one, multiple signature. So what happened in the first signature? Initial signature was computed on the hash of the document. Afterwards, another signature if you are doing that. So it will take only hash of the documents, including the first one signed.
yes.
Entirely document will be considered as a single document.
Yes.
Then second signature
Yes.
will follow, and so on, third,
Yeah.
and multiple signature.
Content plus signature becomes the input for the next level signature.
Okay, but in Word it is not possible.
Yeah. In Word multi-level signature they have not
Because
provided.
only it applies
Yeah.
only.
Yeah. PDF has
unsigned
provided this
document
particular
only
option.
it is
Yes.
signed.
Okay.
But
So
this will be for counter signature only, no, not for parallel.
what do you mean by parallel?
Parallel means multiple people are signing into the same document, but they are not counter signing each other.
No,
I'm trying to understand what is the difference,
counter-
because see
Counters.
in our invoices or in our indents, not invoices, indents, there are 5 people who are signing, the indenter and then his FLA, then his group head, then the executive director of finance and all. So one after the other, all the level of signatures are being done.
Yeah, this is actually counter signing.
Okay.
So now parallel signing in means all people are of same level. They are agreeing to something, some note.
So it will also be one by one after the other only, no?
But that's a different.
Actually, in PDF, there is no concept of parallel signing or horizontal signing.
Yeah.
You can say the horizontal signing, but in fact here submission is not like that, because once after you are signing, first will sign, they will calculate hash on the document part. Next onwards, they will include the signer part also. So it is either parallel or horizontal. It will treat as same.
Even your hand signature will not be parallel, right? Suppose minutes of the meeting, if the committee members are signing, all put together, they will not sign together on a single document, right? One after the other only, the members will sign. So the same is, implemented here.
But in that case, you can see, suppose me and you are parallel signatories. I can also sign before you, you can sign before me. That's the difference where in counter signature, if I am your senior, then you have to sign, then only I'll sign. That's the difference.
That is a workflow you are talking about.
No, but counter signing is because I'm signing the counter.
Actually, these are the customized signature. Actually,
Yeah.
for parallel signature, mathematically we can create multiple signature, and more than one people can sign. And by using one key, it can be verified who signed that document. Mathematically, it's possible. But it's depend on us whether we want to sign in parallel or not.
But current applications do not provide that. Current applications do not. It's just a matter of workflow.
Like in MCA 21, you are talking about, it will work like that, because on first director or co-director will sign, and in hierarchical wise, first it will compute the document hash, and then first director will sign, and afterwards it including the co-directors as well as the next one part also. Yeah.
Even if you look at the Passport Seva Kendra counters also, what I understand is, what they have said is, The counter A guys who are mostly TCS people who scan the documents and then they digitally sign that, and then they forward it to the counter B. And from counter B onwards, there are MEA officials, Ministry of External Affairs officials. So they again validate that document against your originals, and then once they sign it, it goes to the counter C, which is basically the issuing officer, approving authority. Okay, so that approving authority looks at the previous 2 signatures as well as its validation, and once it is done, and if based on the whatever terms and conditions, rules and regulations, they will sign it. Okay. So now let us see this as a digital certificate contains a key pair. So here we have taken an example of RSA with 2048. There are 2 more, sizes that are given here, 3072 and 4096. Let us go with 2048. That is what we use. So when you create it, when you click on generate, it creates a public key and private key. This is just for demo purpose. That is why you are able to see the private key as well here. Okay. So this is public key and private key that is created. Now this public key, private key, once it is created, it has to be kept in a document, electronic document, which is what I was mentioning. So that electronic document is nothing but your digital signature certificate. So click on this. Now that document requires the details of the person, because the CA is going to endorse on this document saying that this certificate belongs to so and so person. This certificate belongs to Misbah, Anoop, or anyone. Okay. So I'll just type here.
सर जैसे काउंटर सिग्नेचर ऐसे ही मेजॉरिटी सिग्नेचर भी हमें बनाना चाहिए. ये सपोज करो ग्रुप में 5 मेंबर्स हैं, उनमें से 3 ने साइन किया है और मैथमेटिकली वो सभी से एक दूसरे से रिलेटेड हैं. वेरिफिकेशन के टाइम हमें सिर्फ एक की चाहिए जो भी तीनों के लिए वैलिड होगी, और जस्ट मैथमेटिकली हम ये भी हम जज कर पाएंगे या किसने साइन किया है. तो एक्चुअली ऐसा मेजॉरिटी सिग्नेचर भी हमें मतलब बनाना चाहिए. मैथमेटिकली पॉसिबल है, पर ये कब डिपेंड करता है कि CCA वगैरह इनको यदि अप्रूव करते हैं तो वो भी मुझे लगता है कि अच्छा होगा.
There are 2 more problem statements that are repeatedly coming, and then in many of these type of forums. Number 1, the defense agencies people, they have said that if I want to share some confidential message or a secret with all my entities across India, okay, so using PKI, how will you do that? Because everyone's, let us say if it is to be encrypted, if it is, confidentiality is required, then obviously I have to take each and every officer's public key, right? So if 100 people are there, then 100 public, separate, individual public keys I have to take. Okay, so once we were delivering a talk in one's defense agency, so there they have given this particular problem statement actually. They said that is it possible that I use as an officer one public key, okay, and send it to individual people. It goes individually to everyone because private key cannot be shared, okay. And everyone uses their own private key for decrypting their respective message. What is the algorithm? It's possible, then it is very good that we can submit a proposal actually.
Mathematically it's possible. It's possible. Yes.
With public key cryptography, with RSA kind of algorithms, or some other algorithms are there?
More than one key को हमें जैसे मॉडल लेते हैं, सब जैसे तो हमारी मैथमेटिकल इनवर्स हैं, ऐसे ही हम उसमें मोर देन वन मैथमेटिकल इनवर्स लेंगे.
Okay.
ठीक है, तो उस केस में क्या होगा कि सपोज करो 4 की से हमने इनक्रिप्ट किया, तो जो 5वीं की है उसको यूज करोगे तो चारों में से किसी से भी इनक्रिप्ट करना उसको
नहीं, हम 4 की से एनक्रिप्ट नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम एक की से एनक्रिप्ट कर रहे हैं.
ठीक है,
हम एक की से एनक्रिप्ट कर रहे हैं, बट डीक्रिप्ट जो होगा वो n नंबर ऑफ कीज से डीक्रिप्ट है.
पॉसिबल है, आप जितना चाहोगे n जितना चाहोगे उतने से पॉसिबल है.
ओके ओके. Can you switch on mic, Khan Sahab?
In Outlook Express or live mail, such arrangements are already done. It is exclusive of arrangement. Live in a group of people.
It's very simple.
जैसे symmetric based mechanism. Anyone can use. It will decrypt.
No, it is not. It is the requirement is not for symmetric key. Requirement is not for symmetric key.
It's not requirement of symmetric key.
Because
सर मुझे सिर्फ एक दिन का टाइम दीजिएगा, मैं आपको कल बना के दे दूंगा।
No.
इससे इट्स नॉट मतलब इतना टफ नहीं है।
Okay.
Before using the public key, because public key is one part, but at the session level, that symmetric key is being used to decrypt your public key. Because once public key will run over the other sides, other side will definitely decrypt the message. So that's why some session key is involved within that.
सर जैसे आपका लीस्ट मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स है सर।
Once you are using the Outlook Express, then
सर सिंपल ऐसे मान लीजिएगा जो आपका
multiple recipient.
लीस्ट मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स है, ठीक है सर, जो लीस्ट मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स है उसके नेक्स्ट जो मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स है वो सेकंड की हो गई, थर्ड आपका जो भी इनवर्स है वो नेक्स्ट की हो गई। तो अब उसके बाद क्या होगा, सभी जैसे जी पे पावर ए भी आपने लगाया, ए भी लगा और ए और बी दोनों के इनवर्स हैं। अब ए को आप चेंज करते जाओ, मीन्स ए जो बी के मोर देन वन इनवर्स पॉसिबल है, ए आप यहाँ पर लीस्ट मल्टीपल इनवर्स ले रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट आप यूज कर लो, फिर आप नेक्स्ट यूज कर लो, लेकिन फाइनली आप मोड लेंगे वैल्यू सेम आएगी।
साइनिंग की बात नहीं हो रही, साइनिंग ऑलवेज वर्क ऑन वन टू वन।
करेक्ट सर, एक बार आप साइन करो, एक बार साइन करो,
वर्क लाइक एक्सक्लूसिव और will work because I have already did
राइट। तो सर जैसे सपोज आपका
हाँ
That of logic.
क्योंकि मैंने क्या किया कि एक अपने पब्लिक की से
Asymmetric key is that.
है ना, मैंने पब्लिक की से साइन किया, साइन इंक्रिप्ट किया डॉक्यूमेंट, अब मल्टीपल
सर सपोज एक हमारी पब्लिक की बी है और हमारी प्राइवेट की है A1 A2 डॉट डॉट A10, ठीक है। अब A1 इंटू बी जी पे पावर A1 इंटू बी मॉड एन करेंगे, सेम वैल्यू आएगी A1 इंटू A2 इंटू बी मॉड एन। तो आप जो भी आप करते जाओगे A1 इंटू बी, A2 इंटू बी, A3 इंटू बी, क्योंकि A1 A2 A3 सभी एक क्या है मल्टीप्लिकेटिव इनवर्स है बी की।
नहीं, जैसे मैं बता रहा हूँ कि जैसे 5 लोगों को हम डॉक्यूमेंट इंक्रिप्ट करके देंगे,
करेक्ट सर।
तो पांचों की पब्लिक की हमारे पास होगी ना, तो उस पब्लिक की के बेसिस पे एक्सक्लूसिव और करके हम निकालते हैं एक सर्टेन की। वो की आप अगर पब्लिक की वहाँ लगाइएगा प्राइवेट की, तो वो भी डिक्रिप्ट हो जाएगी।
सर अभी हमें क्या है कि जो इंडिविजुअल हमें पेयर नहीं लेना है, इंडिविजुअल पेयर नहीं लेना है। नो नो सर, उस केस में कम नहीं करेगा ये इंडिविजुअल पेयर लोगे तो कम नहीं करेगा ये।
But it will not be called as public key private key. It will not be called as public key private key.
In our logic, we are using SSK 256 algorithm where their logic is not supported.
हाँ मैथमेटिकल पॉसिबल है।
Not implementation level, if you talk about public and private key, it has to be interpreted at one end, it has to be decrypted.
Correct.
Doesn't mean that he keep on encrypting at one end, finally he gets one public key, gets decrypted. No.
No, I am talking that I am encrypted mail to multiple people
Correct.
over the email.
Right.
How it works? Because individual people have individual private key, and that's why the mail goes to the different people. They will open by using.
सर उस केस में सर वहाँ पर नहीं सर पब्लिक की सर एक है, यहाँ पर पब्लिक की एक और प्राइवेट की 10 है। अब ऐसे
Sir, I have one request. Let us make our lunch more interesting. Okay, and it is really good. Let us give a big round of applause for all these, because all of them are actually from the mathematics background. Okay, and mathematics plus cryptography, so they have very killing background. Even if you look at Dr. Ompal, Khan Saab and Dr. Pandian, so they have done a lot of work in these algorithm areas. So I'll come back to the basic level again, to my level in fact. So no, this is a good thing. I think we'll take this discussion forward and try to do something for that, because defense agencies have earlier also, when I presented couple of years back and recently also, they gave the same requirement. Surely we will look into this particular aspect. Okay, sir. So again, going back to the certificate part, already whatever technology we have just, you have just seen that in the previous screen. I have created the public key, private key, and now the digital certificate will be generated here. So now when you click on generate, your digital certificate is created here. Okay. This is the actual process, step-by-step process that happens in the digital signing, whereas it looks very simple when you implement it using, in an Acrobat or in MS Word. Now I download this certificate. So somewhere this certificate has got downloaded, so it is created in .crt format. Okay. Since this is a self-signed certificate demo, that is why issued to Misbahuddin and issued by Misbahuddin. and my original certificate which I have shown you, used for the demo, this is issued by CCA, and this only CCA certificate will be the self-signed certificate. So here this is created for 1 year duration, and then all the details are given here. So I'll just proceed further. So we now have public key, we now have private key, we have the digital certificate as well. So let us try to digitally sign any document, okay. So I'm just typing a message called, this is a demo of digital signature. So what happens actually, as I told you, it's a two-step process. The first step is the hash value will be computed out of this. So when I click on this, now it is asking me which hash function I want to use. Let me use 512. So generate message digest. So now this is the message digest that is created for this content that I have given in the previous screen, okay. So what happens now, the next step is this particular message digest will be encrypted with the private key, okay. So basically in the crypto token point of view, the message digest goes into the crypto token, and then there it gets encrypted after activating the key when I enter the my PIN or password of the key. So here, this is the private key, and this is the digital signature. So sorry, a message digest. This message digest will be encrypted with this key, okay. So private key of signer, which is Misbahuddin. So I'll click on generate digital signature. So my digital signature is this particular value. This is the value which keeps changing based on the change in the content. Once I change the content, the message digest will change, and since the change message digest is there, the resultant value of the digital signature will also change here. Okay, let us see that now. Now digital signature is created. Once the digital signature is created, this digitally signed document goes to the receiver, and receiver wants to verify the digital signature. So let us try to see the verification here. Now in your document, you have, earlier in your document, Word or PDF document, it was only the content or the text that was there. For example, only this part was there. Later on, once you had digitally signed, now you have got digital signature attached to the document as well as the public key of the signer attached to the document. Okay. Now at the verifier side, now verifier wants to check two things. Number one, whether the content is modified or not. Okay. So basically it is a digital signature verification. And the second one is whether the digital certificate that is used, this certificate was valid or not at the time of signing. So these are the two different types of verification that happens. One is the verification of the digital signature, second one is the verification of the digital signature certificate. Generally many of the people get confused if they hear first time. See, digital signature is a signing process. It's a technology which follows a process, two-step process which I told you. Whereas digital signature certificate, the moment term certificate comes, that means it's just an electronic document which has your key. Okay. So these two generally people get confused because both are starting with digital signature. One is digital signature, another one is digital signature certificate. Certificate means document, signature means it's a process. So for verification, sorry. Now this digital signature is actually the encryption of the message digest of this content. Okay, message digest of this content. So what is to be done? This is the encryption using private key. So the decryption is to be done using public key. Now where is the public key? Public key is already attached with the document. Okay, and anyone can verify this document. Anyone, even the criminal or cyber criminal, if he also gets this particular document, he will be able to do that because there is no additional confidentiality feature provided on this document as of now. As I told you in the beginning, the digital signature provides you AIN, authenticity, integrity, and non-repudiation only. So let us try to verify this. I click on this. It says, what it does basically in the process is, first the system takes the content, computes the hash value. This is on one hand. Another hand, this digital signature is decrypted using this public key. Once you decrypt, again you get the message digest. So the message digest just now computed and the message digest which is decrypted from this. So here it is, decrypted digital signature and the message digest of received message. Now both are checked. If both are same, if both matches, then your signature is valid. Let me try to add a full stop. Okay, and click on verification. So what will happen? Basically, this message digest will change. And since the message, there is a change in the message digest, this will not match, and the digital signature verification will fail. Okay. Verification fails here. Okay. So this is what is the digital signature verification. Now when it comes to digital signature certificate verification, so there are 5 parameters that generally it looks at. Number 1 is who has signed this, whether that CA is valid or not. Okay. So as I shown you in the demo, eMudra has provided the certificate. It's a licensed CA. Okay. So that is one. Number 2 is trust. What do you mean by trust? Up to root level. Okay. Here if you look at in my document, the trust, it is deriving the trust from the CCA, the root certificate. Okay. And every certificate it is showing okay. That means it is valid certificate. Okay. Otherwise it will give an error message. Okay. All the certificates in this chain are valid. So in the certificate chain, going back till the root level, that is called as trust. Okay. That is the second point. Third point is public key. Okay. What is the size of public key basically? It is 2048, so that it checks. Okay. And apart from that, certificate revocation list. Now, while validating the digital signature certificate, it checks the serial number with eMudra CRL which I showed you. Okay, whether this serial number is present in the CRL. If it is present, then that means there is a doubt now. Now you have to look at the timing of the signature and look at the time at which the certificate is revoked. Okay, let us say 11:30 or 12 o'clock I signed, 12:30 or 12:45 I lost the document, and post 12:30 you received a document with a digital signature, with my signature. So the CRL is showing that this particular certificate was revoked at 1 o'clock and you received a digitally signed document which was signed at 1:30. So obviously you should not accept it. You should not basically consider that as a valid document and then call the person and follow the process. So that is the fourth one. Okay. So trust, and then the expiry, time expiry. Okay, whether the time validity is still there in the certificate or not. So these are the 5 parameters which are being checked whenever the certificate is digital certificate is used. So these are 2 most important aspects whenever you digitally sign a document on the digital signature verification end. So one is the digital signature validation, which is through hash process. Okay. So basically that tells you whether the integrity is breached or not. Okay. And the second one is the digital signature, the certificate validation. So one is signature validation, second one is certificate validation. Signature validation is a 2-step process. Certificate validation is about 5 parameters. Okay. Generally, whenever we are signing, when I am connected to internet, it is checking the validity of the certificate first.
You do the CRL
yes, verification, and then allowing me.
Apply the signature on the
yeah.
Then only you will ask me to apply the signature on the paper. Yes, that's what. It will be somebody does this first, they do the signature, and then they say that after that it sees that the certificate is. It totally depends upon EPI.
What, sir? Ram sir, can I ask? I have one doubt because different CAs we have spoken to. Okay. So the thing is, based on their certificate, policy, they are saying that the CRL updation time, 12 o'clock, if I lost my certificate, loss of token or something, and I reported within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, then whenever their business hour comes, at that time it will be updated, or immediately after loss, they will update the CRL. 72 hours. But what that 72 hours the person should do?
That's why OCSP comes into the.
Yeah, OCSP and OCBS
But
is there for prompt,
OCSP is not there, no?
response.
It is online transaction. If you are
Only,
doing business through online, so definitely OCSP will.
but central OCSP is yet to come. Centralized. Every CA is having, but centralized.
Centralized OCSP response is coming from the CCA side, ocbs.gov.in.
Even in CRL, distribution point is there. In the same manner, OCSP point is there in your certificates. Once you are doing the business or transaction by using digital certificates, now it first go to the sites, OCSP, ask whether certificates condition what it is good, then it will allow, otherwise it will not allow.
Okay.
Maintained by CA.
Okay, sir. So, any questions or anything, or we'll go to the next one? The next presentation. Balaji, you are taking? Ram sir, request you to kindly.
Online.
You have your laptop or something?
Misbahuddin, just one question, if I can ask. Actually, I think you answered this thing. See, what happens to the validity of the issuer if it is, how to recertification, how does it take place when the validity of the issuer is gone? So, yeah. So whether that responsibility lies with the issuer, because
Yes.
if I am the user, then you told some this token has to be inserted. So how do I know? So I have to check or
No, eMudra told me, in my case, eMudra told me, I asked them whether should I send a reminder to you or what is that? Because I need to keep track unnecessarily, right? I have taken for 3 years. So they said that,
See, if
no.
Mudra gives a certificate and his issues a certificate today and tomorrow that certificate is invalid, so that becomes then basically the trigger should come from the issuer side.
That is what they said to me. That is what they said to me, that it will be seamless. Let me see, it's just 4 days left for that. No, not 4 days, tomorrow.
As per regulatory guidelines, every CA has
Huh?
to
Fifth,
indicate or give alert, your certificate is going to expire within 3 months before.
Excuse me, sir. I represent eMudra.
Yeah.
So from a business angle, I will just tell you.
Yeah.
Maybe from a certificate perspective, as a regulatory practice, we are actually supposed to intimate the subscribers well in advance. So we actually do that 30 days, 15 days before the expiry of the certificate to make sure that the certificate need to be renewed by the subscriber himself. So once that is being performed, so it is at the responsibility of the subscriber to do the the process and get the certificate renewed. Okay. So it's, in case if he actually forgets or something, then the business continuity lost because he may be not able to use it in the application, say example MCO or something. So let's say if the certificate is being issued a day before the expiry, you can actually go ideally to the respective application and update your new certificate with the old one. So that this provision has actually been done by various applications, including income tax or MCA or lot of other GSTN or other tender portals and other things. So that functionality, which application will be calling it as a re-registering of your certificate, new certificate. This is normally a business process which will happen. From a subscriber angle, you need to get the certificate because will be intimation will be sent to you. As the sir was actually mentioning, it will be sent to him and he can actually have the process of getting the certificate renewed.
And from the public it's not my question, public question. Will I be charged again?
Yeah, yes, because ideally...
No, I have taken for 3 years, right?
Yeah. No, if it is 3 years, it's a business call. If it has been issued for 2 years, then you will be automatically get the certificate for the other one also, because that is a commercial aspect of
Yes.
it, that you will be automatically getting one more year of certificate. Now, if it is coming as a, let's say if a certificate is issued for 2 years, it is already getting expired and you need to renew it, then it will be charged commercially as per a new certificate.
One more question is for, let us say, for a student community or for example, startups, and because government is also, because this question I have got in some event, government is also supporting startups a lot and all. So what the CAs, can they offer without charging the certificates for them to test their applications?
Yeah.
Is that kind of option is there with CAs?
Yeah, so there are things are available because that is the way where CCA has actually created a class of certificate called as earlier it was called as
Class 1,
certificate,
yeah.
which is only used for the demo purpose. Currently, it has been discontinued commercially by other CAs because they are. But eMudra has a provision to issue class certificate. This is basically for specifically for any testing purpose or something. Normal certificate itself, like class 3 itself, can be issued free of cost based upon the business case. So that is not an issue, but this provision exists.
Then what will be the validity of that certificate?
It will be issued for ideally for the normal year only, 1 year, 2 years, like that. They can actually test it out, but there are provisions to be restricted to 6 months also, or maybe with a shorter validity period in case it is required.
One important question related to the legal validity of that. What will be the legal validity? Because we are issuing it for free,
Yeah.
and will it be legally valid, or will it be just called as a test certificate?
No, it is normally if it is coming under the normal route of let's say in case eMudra, it will be treated as a normal legal valid certificate only. Okay, but if it is being treated like a separate, we have a additional route also, like a demo certificate route. In that case, it will not come under the legal ambit, but both are available. Let's say if they require just for the testing purpose, we can issue it from our test route itself, which will not have a legal validity. But if in case some other applications like a defense application or government application requires that legal validity, that also can be provided.
Okay, thank you very much.
One more point from the subscriber perspective, if they purchase a certificate and already if they have a valid certificate in their token, they can delete that certificate which is existing in the token, and then they can actually start using this newer certificate. So that way the applications also will be easier to detect the certificates, the newer certificates. So this is one point just from the user perspective I wanted to share.
Otherwise, you can use multiple certificates under the token for testing purpose.
Testing, yes, but as a regular user, if you want to avoid the confusion, that older certificate can be deleted, and
Yeah.
Scenario you cannot delete because once you have earlier used in the tender process, so your certificate or private certificate need to use for future reference also.
Sir, I think e-escrow facility is
no.
available.
See, what we meant by certificate here is basically you can export the certificate, and certificate will have that publicly alone can be there. But this from the token you can delete.
No, for signature purpose it's okay.
Yeah.
Because signature is okay.
Yeah.
But once you have taken encryption certificate, like you have used on CPP
Yeah,
portal,
encryption certificate, yes.
CPP
you have
portal,
to.
then you need to have that private key also for decrypt the
Absolutely.
tenders, which will happen after 6 or 4 5 months.
Absolutely agree. Sir.
That
That's
time having the problem.
yeah. that
So
is
I
the
think PFX having, encryption certificate having PFX file, you should keep that as a backup. Because in this case, if your token will lost or the
Sir will-
I think
problem. Just now let us.
yeah.